Hi, and welcome to the Korero Solutions YouTube channel. Today, we are going to talk about how to reflect back properly during a conversation. We have a giant caution at the end with this, so make sure to watch all the way to the end of the video in order to see that.
So what we want to talk about is how do you make sure that you can reflect back in the proper way? So the very first tip is stay quiet. Don't interrupt. Wait. Allow them the time that they need to speak. So here's the tip. A lot of times people feel that they have to interrupt or they can't stay quiet because they've heard something and they're afraid that they're going to forget it. And so they're trying to run it around in their head to try to remember it. Make sure when you go into any of these meetings, you take a pen and a piece of paper and you write down. Don't dictate everything word for word. Take down certain words that are going to help bring back your memory as to a comment or a quote that they made so that you don't have to interrupt them, but you can also stay present in hearing what they have to say. So you're not going to write down every word verbatim. You're going to write down certain words that are going to trigger your memory as to something you want to make a comment back on. So stay quiet, don't interrupt, and write down so that you're not in your head trying to remember.
Make sure that the person knows what you're writing down though, so that they don't think, oh, they're writing stuff down so that they can get me later, right? Like there's that fear mentality that you're writing down things that they said to come back at them. Just let them know, I'm just writing some key things down because I don't want to forget some of the points that you made because what you say is important to me. And after this, I'm going to get rid of these or I'm just going to use these so that I can remember what's important to you with this. Make sure that this is about them. This is not about what you're then going to do against them, because based on people's past experiences, somebody could have also written stuff down and come back to them a week later and said, oh, in such and such a meeting on blah, blah date, you stated, and it's like a court case. We don't want that. We want this as a tool for you to use to understand them, not to attack them with later. So really make sure that that is clear and that you're doing it for that reason. So when we talk about taking the notes, we really still want your reflection to be personalized. So this isn't about telling people what they said. This is about telling people what you heard them say. So when you say, I hear such and such, you don't necessarily have to use that lingo because it can come across very fake and not genuine. You want to say, okay, so I heard you say that this, or here's what I heard you state is important about this. Here's some of the problems that I'm hearing are coming up for you. So make sure that it is personal to you and in the language that you would naturally use. So when you're writing that down, if there is something that you need to clarify, make sure to clarify that in order to reflect back more appropriately. So when you say end of the week, what does that mean for you so that I can capture it and more fully understand what you're meaning by that? You can ask for clarification. So when we say silent, this isn't like never talk for 10 minutes and leave the empty space hanging. Silence is golden and you will get more information by being quiet. But if you have a legitimate question, you can say, I just need some clarification on what you mean by this to help me understand. We find this a lot with jargon, especially people that aren't necessarily doing the job that requires that jargon. So if somebody's using an acronym, you can stop them and say, oh, when you say that, can you just tell me what that means so that I can quickly write that down? And that way, when you are repeating something back, that you can state exactly what it is pertaining to, as opposed to just forgetting about it because you don't understand it. We don't want you to get caught in that trap of, I don't understand, so it must not be important. If you don't understand, just ask.
So if you can take a cute,
Take a quick second.
and like and subscribe down below. Okay, so the last part is we just want to make sure that you're very cautious around the parroting part of it. That, let's just give them an example, Crystal. Say a comment to me, I'll reflect it back, and then I'll also parrot it back so that you see what the difference is.
I hate when people come to work late.
So, Crystal, here's what I hear you say. I hate when people come to work late.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I hate when people come to work late.
Or if I'm reflecting back, I could say, so Crystal, what I heard you say is it's important that people show up on time.
Ding.
That's reflecting back as compared to parroting back. So big caution, when people parrot back, a lot of times the message that's being sent to the person that's speaking is, you didn't hear, you're not understanding what I said, because you're just saying back to me exactly what I said. When you use your own language and your own understanding, they get, okay, she gets exactly what I'm saying.
And this is super important that you also come across in your tone and your body language very similarly. So I hate when people come in late. You hate when people come in late, right? Like you need to kind of meet people where they're at and then have it.
I hate.
So now that you have a bit more of an understanding about that, we really want you to comment below as to what has somebody done in the past that has made you feel heard. So whether it's their words, their body language, anything that they've done that's made you feel like you have been heard.
Thanks for joining us.